Hi, it's Ruby. Thanks for clicking on my video. I recently got back from a 4-night Pacific Coast cruise on the Disney Wonder, and this video is going to be all about the French Quarter Lounge and also Tiana's place. So if that sounds interesting, please keep watching. The French Quarter Lounge premiered on the cruise that we just got off of. My husband and I were able to go a few times during our 4-day cruise, and we ordered a few things off the menu, and we wanted to walk through that and kind of talk about the things that we learned about the lounge and also the changes that happened there, as well as what happened at Tiana's place. If you go into that area, so deck 3, as you're leaving the guest services area, walk straight down the hall, you'll see a sign that says French Quarter Lounge, and as you walk past Triton's, that will be on your left side, and you're walking towards the aft of the boat, you will just completely be immersed in bright purples and pinks and greens and blues. And by the time you get to the French Quarter Lounge, you literally feel like you've stepped into the bayou. It is absolutely beautiful. I love the details that they've added in, not only from the movie, but also just from Louisiana. My family, fun fact, is from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, on my dad's side. And we go there sometimes, not a ton, but we've been there enough to feel like, you know, we understand the South and the food. There was a couple cool things that I noticed walking around, little things that give a nod to the movie. So the first thing that was really cool is they now have these big monitors in the area that say French Quarter Lounge, and during shows, so if there's somebody doing a show at the stage, whether it be the performers that will come play live music for you or sing in the evenings, or whether it be a trivia event or maybe a Disney sketching event, you can actually see that person that's on the stage on the TVs. So that's really great, because before you could only get a good seat when you were sitting by the stage, but now you could literally be on either end of the restaurant and still be able to see what's going on the stage. On the left side of the restaurant, if you are facing towards the middle of the boat, you will see the hats for some of the characters that were in The Princess and the Frog. If you look closely, you'll see Charlotte's hat. You'll also see Tiana's hat, Prince Naveen, and then that guy, and Lawrence, Prince Naveen's valet. Right above there, you'll actually see a newspaper article as if you were in the movie itself, and it announces the arrival of Prince Naveen coming, and I thought that was really cool. I couldn't read everything on it, but it has like a picture of him, and it's kind of glued to the wall. You'll also see a suitcase there, which is a suitcase that he carries in the movie, and also a saxophone. Over to the bar area, it's very reminiscent of Dr. Facilier's chamber and kind of that voodoo magic type theme. It scares me a little bit. That was a little bit for me, but it's cool as far as it's parallel to the movie itself. You see Dr. Facilier is called the Shadow Man, so you see his shadow throughout the wallpaper, and then also you can see his hat and a couple of his potion bottles at the top of the bar. The beer that is on tap is a New Orleans favorite, and that is also featured in the menu. Let's talk a little bit about the menu. The 3 big things that I want to point out here are the beignets. I'm a huge fan of beignets, and Disney didn't just stop at adding beignets to the menu. They actually prepare them differently in the lounge than they would normally do in Tiana's place. If you go to Tiana's place and order the beignets, they are deep fried. Great if you eat them right away, but if they sit too long, they'll get soggy. The beignets in the French Quarter Lounge are air fried, and that means they will keep their crispy texture for longer, and they're also going to be less oily than the ones you get in Tiana's place. The beignets can be bought on their own, or they can come with the coffees if you buy the coffees there. There's also some specialty alcoholic drinks, and I had hypothesized on what kind of drinks they would have based off of what the favorites are in the South. And one of the items that I was sure that we're gonna have was a hurricane, and they in fact did have the hurricane. We did try that drink, and it's made traditionally the same as a normal hurricane, but the big difference is they use Bayou rum. Bayou rum is the featured rum in the lounge, and also on the Disney Wonder, it is the rum that is partnered with Disney. And when we were actually at a tasting, we were invited to go to a sit-down dinner. It was a 6-course meal paired with different rums, and it was actually put on by Bayou Rum, the company. We opted not to do the tasting, but I will insert a picture of the menu as far as all the items they had. Lobster, very high-end steaks and things like that. I mean, Palo itself is a high-end restaurant and is really good, so you're just taking some of those fancy dishes, maybe expanding the menu a bit, and then adding in the tasting of the rum, pairing that with the different items. I'm sure it was a really great experience. We didn't actually go and find out what the cost was, but when we were at Palo dinner, there was a pairing that took place on the Magic, and that was $85. And I would assume that this would have been the same price. I don't know if this is something that is going to be on every Disney Wonder cruise, so I'd be interested, for those of you that are on the boat now or are planning on going in the future, let me know if they have the pairing with Bayou Rum and if that's still a thing. I mentioned that my husband and I went a couple times to the French Quarter Lounge and we ordered a few drinks off of the menu. The other one that we had was the Satsuma Crush. So that had a lot of juices in it. I expected it to be a little bit more sweet, but it was more sour because it had grapefruit in it. But you could definitely taste the rum in that drink. So I ended up sipping it, but giving it to my husband because it was a bit strong for me. It was really good though, and I would recommend it for somebody who likes more of a sour tasting drink. My husband got the New Orleans Old Fashioned and he loved it. So that was with the Bayou XO rum, and it was strong for me again, but he thought it was really good. And Old Fashioned is one of his probably top 5 drinks that he gets, and he felt that it was very much up there as far as quality, and he would recommend ordering that. The other drink that was recommended was the Bayou Mojito, and this was similar to a normal mojito except for they used ginger ale mixed with Sprite, and then they also had the Bayou rum in that as well. And I thought it was really good. I love a mojito, especially the freshness of the mint, and I mean, they made it right there, mashed it up and gave it to us, and so it was really good, really fresh, and I would recommend that if you like mojitos. So to recap, the Old New Orleans Fashion had the Bayou XO rum and aged rum. The Hurricane also had the Bayou rum, and then it was made like a normal Hurricane drink. The Satsuma Crush had watermelon liqueur and grapefruit juice. Grapefruit juice made it sour, but the watermelon liqueur added a little bit of sweetness to it. And the Bayou Mojito did have the spiced Bayou rum, mint, and soda and ginger ale. Another cool thing that they had was the root beer floats and the other float drinks with ice cream and soda. There was a vanilla cream soda item, there was a root beer item. So Abita is the brand that's commonly used in New Orleans. They also have beers on tap from Abita. The Abita beers, I am told, has strawberries that are ripened in Louisiana, infused into the beer itself, and it's very tasty. I didn't try it, I'm not a beer drinker, but if you are, try it out and let me know how it tasted. They had 3 on tap at the time. And then for the kids that were getting the floats, it was also the same brand, but it was cream sodas, root beer floats, and then there was a couple other flavors like bubblegum. I heard the root beer float was really good. That was recommended to us from the staff there, a couple other people that ordered it, and the cups looked really fancy. It looked like kind of like black tap, not as much whipped cream. There was chocolate syrup on some of them, and again, something cool for the kiddos and to enjoy if you're gonna be spending the evening there before you hit dinner at Tiana's. The other thing that I mentioned in my quick 2-minute video on the menu was that they still have that, I'm not gonna say the word because I'm gonna slaughter it, the bin thing where you basically pay $10 for a glass of wine. You don't know what brand it's going to be. It could be a sparkling wine, a red wine, or a white wine. And if somebody has opened a very expensive bottle of wine in the dining room, and normally you can't buy wine by the glass, but in this situation you can, and you don't know what it is, but you get charged $10, and a lot of times the wine that you get will be worth more than $10 a glass. And if it's cheaper, then they will reduce it to whatever that wine by the glass price would be. And it's a really good deal. We didn't do it on this cruise, but I've done a lot of research on people that have enjoyed that. The To The Magic is another group that recommended that option, and that is still on the menu. So that's good to consider if you're gonna drink wine. A few other details that I wanna bring up that are specific to the architecture of the lounge is that if you go around, you will see maps of New Orleans as well as some additional news clippings from like the 1800s on New Orleans, the city, and how the roads are there. Even in the cable car area, it's a bit dark there to sit, but if you like that, you can sit over there, and there is some things on the wall kind of hidden in the corner that you can check out. Around the stage, if you look, you can see Ray the Firefly there. I thought that was a really nice hidden thing. I was gonna say hidden Mickey, but it's not a hidden Mickey. And that's in the framing around the top of the stage area. The floor has been changed to like, it kind of looks like a marble gray color. It's absolutely beautiful. And they updated the carpet that's by the elevator. I don't know if you can hear my son, he's yelling, but life is life. And that really blends with you know, once you go into the French Quarter Lounge and head over to Tiana's place or hit up the elevators that are right there, it all blends together really nicely, and I'm really glad that they did update the carpet there so that it's more of a seamless transition. I had done research on how to get food from Tiana's place while I'm at a different restaurant. Specifically, I've talked about how I was completely underwhelmed with Lumineers when I was on the Magic. This was my first time eating at Triton's, and Triton's made a lot more sense to me. It was a Little Mermaid theme, but I had a plan B in case I didn't like the menu there, and that was to order from Tiana's place. Tiana's place, they have a menu, and you can go over to the restaurant maybe before you hit dinner and take a picture of their menu. But if they're serving something in that restaurant and you want to eat it, you can actually ask your server to get you that item. And if it's available in the restaurant, they can go to the kitchen and pick that up for you. It's a bit of a walk for them, or it could be a hardship, but they will do it because Disney is all about service. We had one of our dinners. I actually ordered the Cajun sea bass. I heard really great things about the Cajun sea bass, and I will tell you, I don't know if it was just that batch, but it was not prepared well. I mentioned that my family is from the South, and so we're very much about seasoning, and fish is a big thing for me. I love fish. The sea bass itself was very well cooked, but it wasn't seasoned well. The jambalaya was seasoned well, but it was undercooked. The rice was hard. The shrimp was okay, but overall the tastes complemented each other, but it wasn't prepared very well. So I was a little bit discouraged and worried that when we went to Tiana's place, the actual restaurant, versus me ordering a dish from Tiana's place, that I would be disappointed, and I actually was not. The restaurant itself is absolutely beautiful. I mentioned in my previous video that they had done some changes to the flooring going into Tiana's place. They've also updated some of the side tables that the servers use to put their trays down or to put their menus. And go back and look at older pictures of Tiana's place, I almost didn't even notice it, but it looks really great. The restaurant itself has always been a favorite for those people that have been on the Wonder or have traveled and gone on all 4 boats. A lot of people say that Tiana's place is their favorite restaurant out of all the boats outside of like Palo or Remy. I loved Rapunzel's restaurant, but I do rank Tiana's place a little bit better. The performance was really great. I was disappointed not to see Louis coming and performing when we were there. I don't know if that was because we were on a shorter cruise. I'm going to do a whole video on shorter cruises versus longer cruises because I've been on different durations on different cruise lines, and I have a lot of opinions on that, but we didn't get to see Louis. Overall, the restaurant is absolutely beautiful. I mean, it is just from head to toe traditional New Orleans architecture, even the table setting down to the menu, the way that they fold the napkins, the table number, all of that is just remnants of the Princess and the Frog. I'm super into art. My husband and I love to collect art. We love to enjoy art, and we did notice that there was a lot of really beautiful pictures on the wall. So we kind of switched off watching the kids and went around the restaurant and really looked at all the art that was on the wall. Also, considering the little details. So at the back of the restaurant, there's kind of like a bookcase there. And we walked over there, we saw a picture of Tiana's father, who apparently was in the military. Didn't know that. We saw books on the wall, and we were reading the titles of the books. I mean, just so beautiful, and they did such a great job paying attention to detail, and honestly just really trying to take their hospitality and bring it into a restaurant and make you really feel like you were at Tiana's restaurant, like you're in the movie. They did a great job. Talk about the menu. Okay, so we ordered for the kids sweet corn chowder, and I want to bring up that we actually have this on previous cruises. I think for the kids menus, they'll have some of the same stuff. Ordered that for the kids. Prince Naveen pasta for my youngest son, but I ended up getting the sea bass for my older son because I feel like you get more bang for your buck when you order for the kids off of the main menu. It doesn't come on the special Mickey Mouse plate, but that's fine. I wasn't super impressed with the other stuff they had in the restaurant menu for kids, so my son did love the sea bass, and I will bring up, since I criticized it before, in the restaurant, the Cajun sea bass was excellent. It was so good. I got one and my husband got one. Well, actually me and my son shared one and my husband got one, and both of ours were really good. So I recommend getting that, get that. There's shrimp underneath as well, perfectly cooked, delicious. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of read off the stuff that we got. So my husband got the sausage fritters. I tried it. It's minced pork and sausage, and it's deep fried. It was delicious. I would recommend getting that. I haven't had that when I was visiting Louisiana, but I'm going to Louisiana in November, so I'm gonna ask my Aunt Vera to make it for me. But it was great. I got the Gulf shrimp and grits. I don't like grits, just FYI. I don't like the texture of it. It's like somewhere between oatmeal and mashed potatoes. I just don't like it, even though I do like oatmeal and I do like mashed potatoes, but I don't like grits. But I did eat a little bit of it. It had a good taste. They were kind of like a cheesy grit. I ended up giving it to my husband, but it was good. The shrimp was perfect again. They put some barbecue sauce on it, which I thought was kind of weird, but not necessarily bad. I think I would have preferred to just kind of have the same shrimp that's in the Cajun sea bass, but you know, whatever they're trying to do, variety, I can respect that. And my husband also got Prince Naveen's Cajun charcuterie board. I don't know, you guys. It's a cured pork shoulder, duck, pastrami, Cajun egg, spiced mustard, and pickles. It was good. The presentation looked very much like Rapunzel's. I think it's a kind of different take on that for that restaurant, but the pickle was really good and the egg was good. Everything else was fine. Nothing to write home to mom about though. We did not get the ahi tuna tarte. I know a lot of folks have gotten that and they really liked it. If you've gotten it, let me know if you've liked it and if I should have maybe ordered that, but I passed on that. My husband and I both got the New Orleans seafood pepper pot. It was seasoned very well, and one thing with seafood soup, Disney does a good job, but a lot of times if you go to a restaurant and you get a seafood soup, it's usually high priced and then doesn't have like all the seafood that they say they're gonna have. But I had like 2 scallops in there, I had shrimp in there, and it also had calamari. I only like calamari if it's fried, so I didn't eat the calamari, but it had a great taste. The soup itself was a bit watery, but it was seasoned well, and I thought it was fine because it complemented the big chunky pieces of seafood very well. The other thing that we ordered was the roasted Creole half chicken, and I mostly got that because of the pecan bread pudding. It was really good, and other than that, I felt like the rest of the dish was kind of forgettable, but the bread pudding was really good, and I would recommend ordering that. We also got Big Daddy's Prime Rib. It was very good. It wasn't like a Cajun prime rib. It was just like a typical prime rib, but it was cooked really well. I like my prime rib to have pink in it and then a little bit darker around the edges, and this was just this. It was a good amount of moisture, and it very much went well with side dishes, which was the double baked potato, the corn, and the broccolini. One thing I also want to bring up is the herb brioche. That bread was bomb.com. It was so good, and the sauce that went with it, it was roasted onion dip. It's really good. I try to stay away from bread, not because I don't like it, but my body doesn't like it. But also, I feel like when you're going somewhere fancy, I don't like to fill up on bread because I want there to be room for other things. But I had to have this bread. My son loved it, my husband loved it, even the baby loved it. It was great. So try that bread. If you're not a big bread eater, just try it. You might like the taste of it. Okay, and then for dessert, we got a couple orders of the beignets and then also the New Orleans Banana Foster Sundae. You know, it's funny because when I go to Disneyland, I mentioned that downtown Disney, I feel like has, honestly, outside of New Orleans itself, the best beignets in the United States of America. The Jazz Cafe there, I believe it's called Jazz Cafe, the one that's like fast ordering. Quick service, that's the word. The quick service one has the best beignets ever, and I actually like them better than what you get in the park in Disneyland. I felt like the beignets at Tiana's place, they were really good, but they weren't as good as the ones at Disney Springs, but they weren't as not good as the one at Cafe New Orleans or Mint Julep. Not that I don't like them. Again, I love beignets. I'm gonna accept it. It's kind of like a really good donut. You're gonna love it. But as far as ranking goes, I didn't think it was like, you know, Downtown Disney or Cafe Mondo, I think it is. I mentioned that there's a show in Tiana's place, and throughout the dinner you'll get live music playing, and then Tiana will come out and talk, and there will be like a Mardi Gras bash where all of the strippers and the kids and everyone else who wants to get up can get up and do like a march through the restaurant. And it was really fun. They'll do a limbo, and one thing I love about Disney is they're really good at distracting the kiddos so they don't get bored. That was no different from Tiana's place. It's quite loud in the restaurant, so if you're not into loud, you might not enjoy that, but again, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be Princess and the Frog. It's supposed to be Southern hospitality, and I think they did a really great job catching all of that. All right, folks, well, that is all I had today for my video. I hope you liked it. If you find my content fun, please consider subscribing, and please consider following me on Instagram. My Instagram is rubies_best_life. Okay, well, I have some other videos I'm gonna add in, so I'll talk to you later and I'll see you real soon. Bye.